Wednesday mastermind call. Today's topic is improving your eBay store, or what can we do to actually progress our online store. And Andrew, before the chat started, was talking about wholesale and how sort of each person in between you and the manufacturer, more meat gets cut off the bone. As an example, I saw a direct from retailer deal for jeans for $2 per pair for 25,000 pairs, all brand new with tags. So MSRP $50 and over. Not great brands, but no problem. You would make a profit, $250 a pair. I saw that exact same lot on different sites for $750 a pair, $850 a pair, $1050 a pair in smaller quantities. So what someone is doing is they'll buy the entire lot. It says it's 60 grand or something, and then they'll piecemeal it to other resellers. And the people who end up making the most money are actually the wholesalers who buy that original gigantic lot. And this is something that people need to understand, because there's there's really nothing you can do as a small seller. You just kind of have to eat, because when you start buying bulk, you're in trouble. But there's a huge gap. It's like the people who are just starting, you can go to thrift stores, garage sales, and make 10 times your money. But then you start trying to scale and your margins go from like making 10 times your money to 10% on your money. It's crazy, the difference. So for most people, you shouldn't bulk purchase, because you don't have enough capital. You're going through 2 or 3 middlemen before you actually get it. And you're going to be making pennies. But let's start with Shani. Shani, good morning. What's something that you can do to improve your store?
So I've just been thinking about this. I think I just need to streamline what I'm doing.
Okay.
To hone down what I'm selling, just to make it easier.
What kind of things do you want to chop off or streamline?
Well, I like, and I've liked this for a long time. I like the idea of items that I can stick in a bag and then ship. You've talked about this for a long time.
Yeah.
The margins, I get better margins in some of the bigger, bulkier, like I sell lamps and they're great margins, but it's a lot of work. And every day that I ship something in a bag, I'm like, oh, I just feel so good. I'm like, oh, that was such an easy $30.
Yeah.
It's just silly. So I'd almost rather sell, 5 of those things than one big bulky item. So anyway, so I've got to figure out a plan. I want to work through the stuff that I have. Like, I don't want to just get rid of it. Like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not selling that anymore. But I got to get a plan as to just get that all there. But then in my mind, somehow I need to have these little blinders on when I go places. Don't buy those bulky things, even if the margins are giant.
It's tempting, right? But once you streamline, you just turn down things, unless you're doing it for fun. There's some people that you can do your day job, and then after that sell your lamp after you get your bread and butter in the store.
I'd rather do art or some for fun. I'd rather paint or make something. I don't want to sell for fun. I want to make money. So
fair enough.
Yeah. So that's just it. So the question is how do you shift? Like, do you just say to yourself, okay, go ahead and go through everything you have? Or do you start trying to eliminate some of those things? It feels like you're throwing money away if you get rid of those items.
Well, it's also like your time. If you go to the thrift store and you only have 5 hours to source, do you get all the profitable items and then do your best? So now that, for example, Frank in the group is doing consignment, I'm not passing on easy electronics, brand new stuff. I'm never going to list it. But for somebody else, it's really easy if you have that set up. So I think you just need ways to get rid of it. And I've noticed that the people who are great at reselling, they buy larger lots and they have ways to get rid of inventories. Andrew had mentioned buying a gigantic lot of something and having a like a repeatable customer, like repeat customers of resellers who buy stuff from you. Obviously, that's a huge level up, because it's business to business. Business to business is great. People don't need the best possible deal. That's a consumer mindset. I want to buy something for $1 and sell it for 200. That's not how regular brick and mortars work. Costco only marks up their items 15%. Imagine how hard that is. 15% before the cost of the building and all that stuff. It's just, that's insane. They break even on the store. And so, but business to business is great. Everyone in this group, everyone listening right now should have a business customer that you can sell some stuff to where it's mutually beneficial instead of just all to the final customer. That's a good idea, Shani, on streamlining. Let's go with Daniel. Daniel, good morning. What can you do to improve your store?
Good morning. So as I mentioned before, my seller rating is below standard. And since I sell home theater stuff mostly, I don't sell that many items. So I need to like do 300 transactions quick. And so I have like 350 CDs that are all good, maybe more than that. And so I'm gonna dedicate specific days to just do that. And most I'm not gonna photograph. I did put up a bunch of Grateful Dead CDs, which were, I mean, they sold for $30 to $50 so far. So I've almost made a third of my money back just selling 5 CDs. So that was kind of motivating. And like Shani said, it's easy to ship those. I have a bunch of envelopes. I just wrap them in one sheet of bubble wrap, and then I print a label, and they'll be, hopefully I'll do a good amount of those a day and price them low just to not lose money on them, get rid of them, get my rating up.
Yeah, you have to do some feedback padding and metric padding items, unfortunately. You see that in a lot of big stores. They'll have a $5.99 product in their category. So I don't know. If I was in electronics, I think I would sell chargers or something that you can, because unfortunately eBay is based on number of transactions and not revenue, which is ridiculous. So let's say you know it's really ludicrous.
That's what killed me.
Yeah. So that let's see, the performance standard is going to happen again on the 20th.
The only thing that I'm top rated on everything else above average, it's just the cases without a resolution. It still takes the total number of transactions, and I'm like 0.2 off. So I did the math. I need 300 something because I've only done 600 total in my lifetime.
Yeah, that's that's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm like shipping. Yesterday I shipped, I don't know, besides the CDs and stuff, like the big audio items, I shipped maybe 6 things. It took 3 hours, 30 minutes each.
That's
and like one was 93 pounds.
Yeah.
And I really don't want things to get damaged because, FedEx, they literally throw them like a football. And so I had to give somebody a partial refund yesterday because one of the channels was bent. So I'm going to screw them tight before I ship them and then put an extra whatever. I save all my packing materials from anything that I get or anything that I see lying around in my building. I save everything.
So I wanted to ask people in the group, there's maybe people online can answer too. I've been shipping these 80-pound boxes across the country from here to the East Coast, and they're 80 pounds. And I've shipped now like 80 of them. All of them have been damaged on the way over there. Luckily, it's clothing and jeans, and that's not fragile. But I don't know how to package it so it won't be destroyed. Both FedEx and UPS are super rough, and I don't know. It's such a far away. It's a far distance, like 3,000 miles. Everything's getting destroyed, the boxes wise. I'm not sure exactly how to solve that, but maybe I need a sturdier box. Let's go with Brian. Brian, good morning. What are you doing to improve your store?
Good morning. I guess I'll kind of piggyback off of what Shani was talking about. Like yesterday, I went and I loaded up my car with shoes. And I came back and I was prepping them yesterday afternoon to start listing today. And like before I was kind of selling everything. Like this summer, I did a lot of auctions and some storage units and different things. And I have like this death pile of miscellaneous inventory that I don't really want to list. Kind of like what Shani was saying. You know, it's nice when you get into a flow, if you're selling one thing or smaller things, you just need X amount of boxes and it's a nice smooth flow versus, you know, packaging a lamp or electronics, like about that. To find the box, you got to spend all the time packaging it, and it just kind of kills my flow. And I think I just want to kind of narrow down. And I like what you said about, you know, maybe save a little bit of that just for fun. Maybe I cherry pick a few items here and there, but you know, that's almost like if use the analogy of eating food, like that's a dessert. You know, if I find an item that's worth $300 or $400 profit, I pick it up. But you know, 90% of my one-offs are just going to be shoes. Because I ran out of room. Like I've got tables to set these on as I prep them, and I have a second table, but it's filled with that inventory. So this morning I got up, instead of listing, I was sorting through that. I guess I'm just going to donate a lot of that stuff and just list the things that are really valuable, just to get to mental space to be more efficient and niche down.
That is a great analogy, because think about cake. The first piece of cake is awesome. The second piece of cake's not awesome because like you're already sick of it. It's too rich, and it's a nice break from oatmeal. But you could eat oatmeal and greens all day and you'd probably feel fine, but it's not that tasty. So yeah, it's like when I was doing those garage sale videos, people are like, why didn't you pick up that? And I'm like, because there's only so many hours in the day. Yes, I can make $2 or $5 or $8 on that, but I have to list it. And if you value, everyone in this group and online should value their time at $50 an hour or more. So you might lose money listing an item, especially if it's heavy or bulky. And I think a lot of people don't understand the flat rate shipping. You have to understand flat rate shipping or you can't resell. It's important because if you only ship by weight, you're going to get destroyed.
And I think the other thing is, like when I'm outsourcing that way, whether it's garage sales or whatnot, I mean, there's no way you can be an expert in every niche. Like you're having to spend a lot of looking things up. Whereas if I'm just doing shoes, like I have that scheduled in where 30 minutes I just study shoes that I've sold at X amount, pre-owned condition. When I'm outsourcing, I don't have to look up much. I think, and you've said this a lot, Chris, that there's really becoming a master in, what do you say, like 1 to 3 niches, I think.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, it makes me think of the old poem. Oh gosh, I forget it, but where basically you can be a generalist or you
Yeah.
or a master in a few areas.
Yeah. So I think that in this world, I think people are happiest. I wrote this down last night because I was thinking about this topic. They're great at a few things, but know a lot about some things. So being a generalist is cool. Like it makes you the life of the party. If you show up and you only do one thing and that's all you do, you might be great at it, but you're going to be kind of not interesting to listen to. And it's like if you have a PhD in ants, how many people can you really share that information with? No one knows that much about one thing. But if you're a generalist and you know lots about every insect, you know, people like talking to you, but you probably won't be rich. It's weird how that works. Let's go with Sean. Sean, good morning. What are you working on?
Good morning. I had a question. I don't know if this is appropriate, but it's just a suggestion. And it require if people wanted to do it and their permission, but could you think maybe make like a spreadsheet that's got like all of our contact info, just like an email and what we specialize in? And because
I
it'd be
have
cool,
that,
like
but
if I could,
I'm not
if I
making
got a
it.
gene question, I could ask Matt. But of course, everyone would have to have their, his name's Matt, right? Because
Yeah.
it says Drunkyard Dog, so I always forget. Okay. I always forget your name.
Yeah.
Like if I had a gene question, I might shoot it to Matt as an example, or someone else they specialize in this. I might shoot a question as long as everyone's cool with it and they've given permission and whatnot, you know, because that would be another level because everything's filtering through you, and there are a few times where I might be able to just hit them direct, you know.
I have whoops, I think I have a link for the people in this group that have their contact information if they want to share. So just request access to that, and I'll send it over. Yeah, I think it's great. I get yeah, that's a great point. Everyone in this group should network, and they should do things like, you know, I'm going to call on Andrew in just a second, but I do think it makes sense to buy directly from the source and then sell some of it in smaller lots to other resellers, and essentially you get your inventory for free. It's like kind of how the game is played, where everything has been cherry picked, and that's like that's the name of this game. It's I don't know if it's unfair, but it's different. If you're the first person that gets the inventory, you get to look through it and cherry pick everything out of it. So I want people in the group to go in on group buys. Let's go with Phil. Phil, good afternoon. How's the UK?
There we go. Hi, morning all. Good, nice and busy. Our store is growing. We're doing a lot more on Facebook as well with the bulky items. You talked about that earlier. That are maybe too bulky or too fragile to ship. We've done a couple of job lots on office clearances. We did the second one yesterday, so we're overflowing with stuff. We also received last week or the week before 3 boxes from eBay, and I thought, oh, what are these? And it's full of packing material.
Mm-hmm. And that's from the eBay event.
I don't know why they sent it to me. Is that what it's from?
Yeah, it's from the eBay event.
Oh, okay. I had no idea about that, or that I was going to get sent these things. But anyway, they're great. I think like Daniel, I think it was Daniel mentioned, we keep every bit of packaging that's clean and good condition. It saves a lot of money. Bubble wrap, air pouches, whatever it is, boxes in particular.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Go ahead.
My accounting, and I just got hit with an additional fee because I'm below standard.
Yeah,
and it's
5%.
$48 on. I mean, it was $850, but that's ridiculous.
It is. It's so stupid. I
They
think
won't- that's why they won't take away any of those cases from me, because they're just going to kill me on this.
I think it should be a class action lawsuit,
Oh my God.
because they don't. My penalty was $3,200 when I had it. Like, how do you what is that? That's like,
Well,
it's literally thousands of dollars. It's so ridiculous.
it is, and I've had a bad 10 days with returns, and there've been large items. Shani was talking about this earlier. I got an e-scooter that they returned $500. I got, and a couple of other things, £100 here, £100 there, quite big items. So that really hits your cash flow when you've already spent that on new stock.
Is it all on all items now? Because I'm kind of going
Yeah,
back.
it's on your entire store. It's almost like worth starting a new eBay store. It's such a ridiculous penalty, especially with the small store.
And so I'm getting close to that threshold on returns now. So it's gonna knock me off being top rated seller. So that really
Can I
sucks
start
big time.
another
So
one?
Yeah, you can.
I'm doing it.
It's technically eBay fee evasion, but it's not like, but it's something that makes sense. If you only sell a few items and they're really expensive, it's impossible to recover. It takes like 3 months to recover.
But can I use all of my same home address information and everything?
Mm-hmm. You can. There's no penalty for opening as many stores as you want. It's just that you sort of lose your store fee if you have that. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, but it's my feedback rating because I have like 900 and I'm 99.7.
Joe in the chat from the Family Flips is saying you should have more than one store. I have more than one store, not for this reason, but I could. If I fall below standard, it's not worth it to list in that store. I should just move it all to a different store because it's literally thousands of dollars of penalties.
on this job lot that I got from this business, they did conferences and stuff as well. So there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of items of glassware, chinaware, silverware. So I'm going to job a lot of those up into small items, small bulk items, if that makes sense, and try and get volume up to minimize that percentage. But you know, it's so frustrating. You get penalized for returns that are just because the customers decided they want to return it.
Yeah.
Because I offer free returns, and you know, it's been great overall. But when you get 10 days of returns, quite a few of them in a short period, it's really frustrating. And it's not your fault. You're just offering the customer a great service, and you're getting penalized for it.
Yeah.
It's
One
wrong.
more thing,
It's so wrong.
one more thought that I'd like to share with the rest of the group. And I don't know how to do this, but
Mm.
there's a big difference between you doing it by yourself at home, it with no overhead, no employees. You could probably list 100 to 200 items a week and kill it. Very, just do everything by yourself. Don't hire anyone, just do everything. But if you want to get to that next level, it's really complicated. You need a couple of people to help you. You have a commercial space. You start having insane risk. If you get this stupid penalty, now you have $1,000 penalties. If you get 3 employees in California, you have to have workman's comp. So it's like another 10% on everything. So try to do as much as you can with 2 people. But then you have to do like 5 times more volume to pay for 2 more people because the quality starts going down. That's why somehow there needs to be a group. I don't know how to work all together, but doing it by yourself at home, you can comfortably make 50 to 100K.
Yeah.
But trying to get to that next level, I don't know. It's so hard.
Talking about the bulk, you know, I've been looking recently quite a lot more interest in these bulk items, which is where the wholesalers buy them from. You know, and they break them down into pallets for people like me. But I can go direct to some of these auctions, Amazon auctions, and pay. You know, there's one I was looking at this morning, £40,000, 2,500 items. I can go to auction and get that for 8 to 10%. So £4,000, let's call it. I'm paying the wholesaler 20%. You know, so I can make a big saving, but I haven't got the space. But I'm, you know, as you know, that's on my radar. I'm looking for somewhere bigger.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get somewhere bigger, I can cash flow that. I've got money set aside, £4,000. You know.
Yep.
And I can buy 2,000 items and get 2 guys in working as many hours as they want.
Yeah.
To process all of that. And okay, so we make less on each item, but we're getting the volume.
Yeah, that's a big step.
Much better priced. Yeah. So
that is once you can get to, I would say, that level or a little bit bigger, you actually can buy larger lots and skip a couple of the middlemen.
Yeah.
And you're good to go.
There's a couple of guys here. I follow them on Facebook. They've got big warehouses that are open to the public, and they do a video every couple of days. Look at what we've had in today. And the messages they get, and the people can flock to this place to buy lawnmowers for 30% of retail and whatever, because they're paying 10%. So the turnover is huge. But they're buying direct, not even through the auction houses. They're buying direct from the sellers, the original, like the Home Depots of this world. That's another level.
It is. Andrew, can you chat? I know you're in the car. What's up? What can you do to improve your operation?
I really think about streamlining, and like what Shaney said, is really streamlining. I actually had a question for anyone that wanted to chime in. You know, I know we discussed one time about free shipping.
Yep.
I think I've been going back to paid shipping.
Yep.
Because a lot of times I think people will see where it's going to cost you $15 to ship. If you say, all right, it's going to be $30 free shipping, but they see $15 with shipping. People pay shipping. I find they want the lower price and they'll pay the shipping. I don't know why, but like that, I don't know what everybody else's thought is on that, but I've kind of found that like going to paid shipping, I'm actually doing better in sales.
Andrew, I know the answer to this question. Okay. A lower sale price versus a higher sale price has higher click through. So for sure, because if it says 15 plus shipping versus $30 free shipping, mentally you sometimes the shipping is hidden on the app. You don't even know till you actually click on the item, right? So that is going to increase the click through. If you do a good job with your listing, you're going to convert because you did a good job. So some people won't care and they'll just buy it. Now, if you're at $30 free shipping, some people are just not going to click on your item because they see that it's higher than the other ones and it might not get to the point where they actually buy. So you get more traffic if you don't charge. I'm sorry, if you charge for shipping, more traffic doesn't necessarily mean more sales though. You have to be good at your job to convert. But I would agree with you. And you could also do nominal shipping. Some people do 15 plus $3 shipping because no one has ever not bought something because of $3 shipping.
Right.
But you can charge a little versus like actual, because some people don't know. If you put like $8 shipping, they're like, it's not that much to ship because they don't have any idea.
Right. Well, I think people don't know. Like I ran into a problem yesterday where it was like going to be like $40 to ship something, and I was like, I had to change it from free shipping to shipping, and the guy was like, "Hey, you just had it yesterday as free shipping," and I'm like, I didn't even realize until I went back and said, "Oh, the weight was wrong in here. Like, I'm gonna lose money on this." Like, people don't really care. Like, but I found that in general, I'm really doing a lot better just charging lower price with shipping. And does that make a difference too? Is it like, is the fee based off of the total price that they pay or the total price of the item?
Total price. Final value fees based on total price. Yeah.
Where can you find the shipping fees, like that breakdown?
You mean on your invoice?
Yeah, the percentage they take on actually, I mean on a payment, like when they pay you. Where can I find that?
I think it's in the sales tab. It'll give you a breakdown of what percentage your shipping fees are.
So there's no fee when they pay through managed payments? That's what I mean, managed payment fee.
Oh, it's lower. The managed payments fee is lower than the PayPal fee. Their processing fee is slightly cheaper in some categories.
Thanks.
How do you get to manage payment? Because I request, but I still haven't the same.
They're moving millions of
Slowly?
people over. It'll happen before the end of the year. But Andrew, I think that's good advice. For some people, free shipping is going to make you more money. So for some people, it's not. It depends on your category. And also depends on, for some people, they charge for returns. For some people have no returns. Just depends. I would say, Andrew, in your category, not charging for, charging for shipping might work because you get more clicks.
Right. Well, I mean, with all the video games, I could do free shipping and I could beat most people on their price. Like if they have it for $10 plus shipping, I can do $10 free shipping. That's not the thing. I'm talking about like on heavier items, on stuff too that I'm not really that familiar with, or like on a video game, the most it's going to cost is $3.80. Like
right.
That's the most it's costing. So I know, and even when most people are like, I can give away games for $6 with free shipping and still be making $2 profit, So it's like, it's not that big of a deal for me to charge free shipping on the video games. But other stuff, like I found that like a lot of clothing items too, that if, a plus size pair of jeans goes priority, it's not worth it for me. It's worth it just to charge whatever I'm going to charge plus shipping. So
yeah, I think with nominal shipping, like $3, I shouldn't prevent anyone from buying. And I believe there's no sales tax on the shipping. I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody fact check me, but I think that the customer saves money if you lower but I don't know. On Mercari, they charge sales tax on the shipping. I'm assuming they
on
do.
Amazon they charge sales tax on the shipping.
Yeah, I bet it's all that must because otherwise you could circumvent paying sales tax, and the government doesn't want that. Let's go with Matt. Matt, good morning. Beautiful day. What can you do to improve your store?
Oh, do I have some really, 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 really cool stuff to tell you today? Okay. Last night, I had a revelation. I had this big brain idea,
Okay.
and I think it came from Andrew's comments yesterday.
Okay.
I can't say that I thought of Andrew and I thought of this, but I think him saying what he said yesterday really triggered this idea. And I'm just going to forget eBay altogether, right? This is an option that I have. I could get rid of eBay altogether and work literally 0 minutes per week.
Okay.
I could have my employee, Kevin, come in, sort 18 bales into
Okay.
values.
Okay.
Very high value for eBay, middle tier value for eBay, locally sold junk.
Yeah.
And then wholesale, middle tier and high tier value eBay to other eBay sellers. I could have him facilitate that entire thing. All I need is one customer that can meet with him weekly. Bam, profitable. I don't have to do any damn thing at all.
Dude, everyone, I mean, there's a lot of people who switch from eBay retail to wholesale once they get a large enough order. And also, this is
I
the
love it.
magic. Go ahead, Andrew.
No, I love it. Exactly what he said. It's made my life so much easier, so much like less headache, less stress, less worrying about just doing listings on stuff that is like, all right, here, this is a home run. But the other stuff, here, take it. Good luck.
I know. So also, Matt, here's my thought on what you just mentioned. You take the high value stuff, you pair it with the garbage, and now that sells like crazy. So it's like I learned that from this pallet flipper. He's like, you buy 10 pallets, you put the crappiest pallet with the best pallet, it's the first one to sell. Then all the middle ones are easy to sell. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Right.
But I like that. You would have no eBay store. I know.
I could literally just travel. Like, I don't even have to be here.
I know. I probably get that message once a month. The best eBay store is no eBay store. Right? Just
Right.
get to the point where you're buying this enormous truckloads of stuff. It gets divided into piles. You have 10 customers come once a week, done. Right?
Yeah. What I do is literally just one product. So all I need is one customer. And I just need them to be big enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, right now I'm like trying to list 500 things a week, trying to do shipping, sorting, clean things up, make sure the space is clean every day.
Yeah.
Go to the post office every day. Dude, it's
It's like
way too
40
much
jobs.
stress.
That's a lot.
And I would only make double the amount of money
I know.
by having the eBay store and working 60 hours a week for double the amount of money as working 0 hours a week.
I hear you. So I'm like splitting some wholesale with Matt, and I literally make only twice as much not selling it at all if I just wholesaled it. And it's interesting looking at it that way. That's like this and the margins are tiny, and I think that's the volume. I'm sorry, total profit. Everyone start thinking about total profit and not just margin. If you flip $5,000 for $6,000, you only made 20%, but you made $1,000. You know, if you buy something for 100 and sell for 1,000, you made less. Even though it seems like you made 10 times your money overall, you make less. So it's crazy.
The other factors in that equation is time and effort. You know, the effort, if you had employees and you had like a fully functioning thing with employees and stuff, the effort's minimal. But the time, it depends on what quality of stuff you're getting, how long it'll take to sell. So those are the other two factors in that equation, I think. But yeah.
On what Chris said though, if you have a lot of stuff that can't sell and you bought it wholesale, it's easy to get rid of it wholesale if you pair it up with some. I sold 100 copies of Madden 15 and nobody wants Madden. I don't think I ever sold one on eBay, but I sold 100 in a wholesale lot. And I think the game is basically unsellable. But in a wholesale lot to a reseller, they're like, oh, I'm getting it at 38 cents. And you can get rid of all your junk basically with that.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how the margins work, total profit. Let's go with Clay. Clay, good morning. What are you working on? How's Texas? I'm thinking
Howdy,
of moving
sir.
there and
It's
getting a ranch and guns.
never. Yeah. I've ridden a horse, I think, one time when I was about 7 years old, or something. But I have a friend who has horses. I'm going to take my niece. She likes horses, so
I love it.
But no, it's good. It's still good weather here. It's cooling down a little bit, so it made my run last night, I told you, made it better. So to improve, like I said, I'm trying to just I'm going to keep doing the garage sale, right now, like I said, because that's kind of what I'm good at and what I have, and to grow my store, but also keep trying to, like, when I go out later this week, and then next Monday, Brian and I are going to go and tag team it and do the shoe thing too, so that I can try to, like, get better at that. And I also have one friend I made through YouTube up in Colorado who's been picking clothes for me.
Yep.
So I need to, like, I'm going to talk to her later when she does her little show and see if I could find a couple of other people who will find stuff for me relatively cheap, because I don't know clothes yet. And I'm still okay selling clothes, because I sell a decent amount. So, and then other things, like, I need to get better at setting consistent sales, because, like, I'll do a sale every now and then, but, run them more often, because I've learned kind of how it affects the algorithm and stuff. So there's just a few, like, some of those administrative things I've got to get better at, along with research the shoes and study. So that's why I wrote it on the list for today, study shoes.
I love it. That should be something you do every day if you're going to be in the shoe category.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I didn't do it yesterday. So that's why I put it on, like, in the middle of the day here. It's going to be like, so that I don't have a reason to, like, just put it off,
One thing I like, Clay, is on Monday I tried on like 80 pairs of jeans because that was in my lot.
Yeah.
Yesterday I tried on 80 different kinds of pants. So like Dockers, all the different slacks. And amazingly, all those pants, all those Matt calls them fancy boy pants. Out of all the pants, I think Dockers are the best. Just from, if you're just looking straight value per dollar,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like a working man's pant, and it's cheap. So that's what I mean by getting into the niche. Because I found a supplier, and I'm like, if I could describe it like a person that wears it, it's going to be better. Also, I want to go back to Daniel's question. Why does charging for shipping get more clicks? Because people don't read. So if they see $9 plus $9 shipping versus 18 free shipping, they'll click on 9. They may not buy it, but they click. That's why the conversion is not necessarily higher.
I would think the opposite, free shipping, but I guess people are that lazy that they can't even move their eyes.
They can't move. People don't read the description. Like, okay, this person was like, can you tell me the size? I'm like, the size is in the pictures, it's in the title, it's in the item specifics, and it's in the description. Did you, like, where are you looking that you don't see the size?
That happened to me all the time.
Yeah, it's just,
Like, I put
people don't
everything in
read.
the description. They don't read it.
They don't read. They don't know. They don't know. People are that lazy. So,
like being a teacher, when I was a teacher for all those years, you have to repeat. And you're like, we went over it, what, like a minute ago, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I was teaching, English and reading was the big component. Like, we've been struggling with this for years. It just seems to get worse. And now as a reseller, you see the effect, which got it from the other end. Like, if you can read, if you can read it, if you're willing to put in the work and effort, you have so. That's why I told my students, if you're willing to work and study, like you have such an advantage because it seems students are getting lazier and lazier.
I know there's a huge difference, and everything is so easy now that, you know, your phone is so entertaining. But that's a different topic. Let's go, Jared. Jared, good morning. What are you working on?
Morning, guys. I was up late doing actually doing my first like wholesale import order. So I went through Alibaba and I've been looking for stuff. And I finally did a small 50 quantity order. And I'm working on that and trying to. I spent so much time on wholesale yesterday. How it's that's like a big black hole once you start jumping down and actually trying to. I found the product and then trying to find the supplier, and so I lost a lot of time. I need to list more. I think I got like 10 more items listed yesterday and was way off my goal, but that's okay. I think it'll pan out in the end.
I love, yeah. The one more thought on the wholesale thing. So like you just mentioned, if everyone has a one-off store of like 100 or 200 items that go up every week, you can have runway to work on other things. So it might be best for people in the group to have a small eBay. Maybe the best store is a small, profitable eBay store that pays your bills so you can work on wholesale, because, you know, it's very difficult to scale to scale the one-off store. So maybe just keep it a small size.
How much space do you need though for wholesale? Because space is a problem for me here, obviously.
Yeah, less if you do Amazon. Actually, you need, if you sell wholesale, you need less space because you can fill the box all the way full if it's all the same item. You don't like, as my store grows, it's shrinking in size because it's more and more replenishables, and they fill up the whole box instead of a third of the box when you sell one-offs.
And then you lose less things because
you lose less things. You have less returns. Yeah, this is one of those situations where you hear people like, it's so easy. All I did was buy $100,000 order of wholesale. And I, you know, it's easy because you were able to do that large order, and there, you know, it's different.
I think the conversation of everybody or people, you know, certain people working together that have a, you know, you found pants and jeans and, you know, somebody else can do part of it. I think that's really interesting. Just because like I threw in the chat where I'm at, my warehouse is ridiculously cheap. People are probably paying more for storage units than I even pay for my 2,400 square foot warehouse. Labor's cheaper because cost of living is cheap here.
Yep.
You know, so you can actually find quality people for $15 an hour, you know,
yep.
that aren't strung out, and people are happy to do it. Like, I mean, you pay somebody $20 an hour where I'm at and they're ecstatic. I mean, I literally know mechanics that work on cars that only make $22 an hour and are great people and really knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really interesting conversation.
And people work for, if you like, the Ritz-Carlton is supposedly the best hotel chain to work for, and they pay below average because people just like working there.
Yeah.
So
I think the right environment where I'm at, I think I could take product and fulfill it for everybody, just, you know, basically like the FBA fulfillment centers. I think you can do it so much cheaper, because I can only imagine what that costs in your area in the Bay. I mean,
it's $2 a square foot, and I'm in the cheapest possible warehouse space. It goes up to $4 a square foot in San Francisco.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's great.
It's amazing. And there's plenty of people who make it work. It's not like you can even get a space. They're full. You know, I think people need to understand that the competition is very stiff. We're out there trying to make this work. But in my unit, like, I cannot even believe how well people are doing at e-commerce. They've just been doing it for a lot longer. They've been doing it for 10 years, 15 years. They're seasoned, they have systems, and they all have different divisions, wholesale. Because in the end, like in this jean lot, there's certain jeans that I can make 10 times my money. Those ones maybe I list, especially if I have 10 of the same one. I got lucky, and there's like 18 pairs of Levi's 511s. I listed those yesterday. I listed 2 items and I was tired. So I was looking at everyone in the group, and 2 sold right away. And I was like, man, listing works. But then it's just, you know, the balance of time versus, do you just flip it and make money immediately? I guess it just depends on how you can replace it. That was Matt's answer a couple of days ago too, was how easy is it for you to replace the items that you're going to sell?
That's our problem here, is the items are, you know, cost of living is cheaper. We can't hit home runs here like you can. You know, if you found a Prada shirt here, I mean, it's a grail here. You know what I mean? And I'm sure in your guys' area, it's a totally different scenario.
Yeah.
But we can also, like, I was looking at a retail location. I can have a retail location directly across the street from a hospital and do everything, insurance, the building, all that, and do it for probably $1,000 a month. I mean, it's dirt cheap. So
including rent?
Yeah. It's ridiculously cheap. Like I've had one of my warehouses. It's 2,400 square foot. It's not even in the hood, and I've had it years, and my increases only went to $450 a month.
Jared, you're in Texas?
No, I'm in Indiana.
Oh.
I'm in Terre Haute, Indiana, and I'm about an hour southwest of Indianapolis. So,
right, Daniel? Yeah. It's weird. I'm interested. Like,
I'm in New York City, so my storage unit is like almost $400. It's $400.
Yeah,
that's it. And my insurance policy for the year was $4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It's nothing like that here. I think that's why, you know, people working together that can find stuff.
Yeah.
You know, even if, you know, somebody's, you know, good at one part of it and somebody's good at another part of it, I think people could really make money that way.
One interesting, sorry. Go ahead.
I just think if you had a few of the right people in the right areas, I think you could really, you know, especially if somebody could source the right product, somebody else could fulfill it, you know, I think you could really work well together.
So one random fact that no one cares about is that 75% of Asians live in urban areas. I did not know that. That's why it's so weird to meet an Asian in not an urban area. But I didn't realize that there's only 5% of America is Asian. That's a lot. It doesn't seem like that when you see like the media and like
San Francisco, it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, where I live, it's like it doesn't seem like that. Or New York or Houston, for some reason, has 1 million Chinese people. So it's but I didn't realize how small. I'm surprised people listen to this YouTube channel because I do not look like everyone else here. So I'm excited that we live in a diverse place, but it's I don't have a tribe of Asians in Texas where I can go there and get my ranch. I want it. Go ahead, Matt.
When you live in a rural area, the only Asian people you see that work the strip mall Asian restaurant.
Or the grocery store.
Only Asian people anywhere.
Or the grocery store. Some of them own grocery stores in the South.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't really seen that. Well, I have seen Asian specific grocery stores. So yeah,
that's true.
Maybe that case.
Yeah.
Hawaii has
Go ahead, Rachel.
Go to Hawaii.
Yeah,
like
Hawaii does. Yeah.
In, Japan or somewhere in Asia. And
yeah,
all the
that's
larger
true.
sizes are still there. So you won't find big sizes. You'll find a bunch of large sizes because the Asians are primarily there. So they'll buy most of this stuff.
Yeah. The highest income in the United States per race is Indian. Indian Americans average $77,000 a year. They make the most of any kind of person. And the average American is like 40. It's almost double. That's insane. They're immigrants too, for the most part.
I have to say that every Indian descended person that I know that's here in Indiana works way harder than anybody else.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Yeah, they grind a lot. I mean,
grind.
I know some people own a gas station in the last 10 years. They started with one gas station, and I mean they probably own 40 pieces of property in town already. Multiple businesses, like they really hustle hard.
This is important to realize because a lot of Asians are business owners. It's a common thing. And I think that when you're a business owner, you have to be really frugal, and it's really hard and takes longer than people think. But then you do get some kinds of freedoms from doing it. You can pick your own schedule. You could take a day off because you don't get fired when you take a day off in the middle of the week. But it's yeah, it is a battle. The immigrant mentality. I was wondering, like, I don't have that. Like, I'm from Utah. I feel white. I act white. I lost that immigrant. I mean, I work really hard, but not like my parents. Like they I don't even know what it is. Like I have never worked as hard as they worked every day. So I wish I had that. Like, also one more thought from Tech and Sports yesterday. We had a call, and he has this like fire in him to prove people wrong. Like somebody will be like, "Oh, you're just a loser" or something, and it'll fire him up for like 5 years. And I'm just not. I feel like that fire is so useful for getting things done, but also, it's interesting. Somebody in the chat was asking what people do outside of reselling as their job. I think that's important to recognize because you can get a lot of your expertise of a certain subject based on what you did before reselling. But let's go with, go ahead, Daniel.
Should we answer the question?
Yeah, go for it.
I am a real estate agent. Like, as I treat it as my side job now, but I just like selling things in general.
Yeah. I mean, you also naturally know sales from your job.
Yes.
I think sales is one of the hardest things to teach.
It's dealing with personalities too. So I have a master's degree in mental health counseling. So just dealing with tons of personalities and frustration and lowballing.
I know, I hear you. There's a lot of nurses in reselling, looks like in the chat. Let's go with Don. Don, good morning. What can you do to improve your business?
Oh, good morning. The main thing is get rid of a lot of the, I have a lot of inventory that's just sitting there from when I, first started my store, and, I'll sell something. It's like, oh, it'll say, put in there 3.5 years ago, it's taking up space in the store. And so I have this, and it's also, it's just, it's not getting any traffic. I haven't looked at it. I haven't gone back to adjust the price. So I got that reseller. I forgot the name of it. I just signed up for this repricer, Street Pricer. And so I want to just use that to just go through some of my old inventory, just start cutting prices, get some activity on it, and so that's something that'll help. I've learned the items that I want to sell. All the new stuff I put in usually sells within a month, and I have all the dead stuff, which is just sitting there wasting time, wasting space. I could probably get rid of. I wouldn't have to have an anchor store if I got rid of some of this crap, but that would be a good improvement just to clean it up. But I'd rather not start a new store. I mean, I have 2 stores. One I don't do much on, but my main store, I'd rather not restart it just because of I have really good feedback, and I think having good feedback over time, makes people pay a little bit more for my items. I won't necessarily charge the least because I think I'm, appear to be trustworthy. So
I have one more thing to share with everybody in the group, and this is really important. So everyone, like, pause and write this down. Sometimes if you charge more, you get more sales because eBay makes more money if you sell your item for more money. So, and everyone knows about rolling blackouts, right? So this means that eBay rotates the traffic. Sometimes if there's 4 Panasonic record players that show up that are for sale, they'll only show the customer 2, and the customer will buy one of them if they know that customer is like a person that doesn't shop around. So you don't have to be the cheapest. This goes back to what Andrew was saying too. If you have a good history, or like Don, your store is really old, and they know you're going to deliver your stuff on time, they may give your listing to a premium buyer. There's so many things that go into Cassini. That's one of the reasons why they don't share how we don't really know how Cassini works. But if there wasn't value in having an older store or feedback, then people wouldn't pay tons of money for them. It does matter. Mark, can you chat? You might be on the road. come back to. Oh, there he is.
Hey, good morning.
What can you improve?
What can I improve? I can improve my sourcing. It's an ongoing thing. I want to take your flyers and try to really niche them down. Do you think that getting really specific into one brand, if I was looking for tools, for example, if I went down to one brand, would I be wasting time and as opposed to making the category a little bit more broad?
Not necessarily. Depends on. I would pick a huge brand if you're gonna do
Right.
that.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure if you like, well, here's the end game. If you pick one brand, eventually they could be your distributor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also acquired a list of about 200 pawn shops earlier this week. So I was gonna start reaching out to pawn shops. Maybe by phone would be best over emailing them that flyer or
Yeah. Well, both.
Yeah. Would you recommend mail versus email or email?
I would recommend phone first, then like my script would be, hi, I'm looking for the person that's in charge of purchasing or looking for the person in charge of inventory. My name is Mark. I have a consignment shop. Can I email you a folder of our, and email you a list of our services to see if we can work something out? I'm looking to buy stuff right now for my online store. What kind of things do you have to try to get it? And then hopefully you can flush out, oh, that's Jared. And then you can talk to him and say, Jared, I got your phone number from Bob. And
Right.
we said, that's the game.
Okay. So yeah, that's my next move now is getting in touch with some of these pawn shops, all of them in the next month, hopefully.
There's also a grace period, like 30 days. They can't sell it. They have to make sure if it's not stolen. That's in some states.
Right.
That intrigues me too, because sometimes they'll let you post items during that period that those items are not on the floor yet. So it is interesting. I don't know enough about the pawn shop business, but I know that their rules are different in every state.
Yeah, I had told you that the person who bought my catering business owns 3 pawn shops. So that's where I'm getting some of this information. And I want to try to find out, like, at what point do they consider lowering the prices? Because I imagine when it's first available for sale, they're going to go after the highest price and then it's going to drop slowly. So maybe with this person, I can figure out some negotiating tactics for other pawn shops.
Let's see. Are you gonna? Do you have to stay on with the purchase of the catering company and show them how to do it?
I got another like 7 days and then I'm done. I mean, I may go in and help them because I feel like they're completely unprepared for this new situation. They're really gonna be over their head.
That's nice of you to not just unleash it on them. Awesome. Let's go with Ed. Ed, good morning. What can you do to improve your store? No audio.
There, hear me now?
Yep.
Man, like I was saying earlier about going through and pulling out your dead stuff. I bet I've got stuff in there that's a year old. And either drastically lower the price or chuck it. That's it.
How are you gonna go through your stuff? How much stuff is left? You've been on the call for a month or so, or a couple months.
I like in my store or in inventory that's not listed.
Not listed.
I don't even know where to begin.
How much space does it take up?
2,000 square feet.
And you're down in Fresno?
I'm in Iowa.
Oh, Iowa.
So my space is cheap. My main I was up late last night reading about how to hire another VA. I gotta learn how to do that well, not just do it well.
What happens when it's all gone?
I do drop shipping.
Okay.
And I'll probably spend more time doing that. But I think we talked about this earlier, but if you sell one-offs, hiring a VA is a tough game.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's going to be challenging to figure that out. If I
That's
do that, that's my magic key.
That's another reason why I'm thinking about just doing jeans, because
Right.
I was talking about, Matt, can we really saturate jeans? Not really. There's millions for sale, right?
Yeah.
And then teaching someone to list jeans is there's like, yes, it's hard. It's hard enough that most people will give up trying to learn how to do it.
Right.
But and shoes too. Shoes is hard.
Yeah, the cool thing about hiring someone to do that is, you know, eventually you're going to run into somebody and say, what do you think about listing jeans? They'll be like, yeah, that sounds interesting. That's your
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, that's right.
You'll get that. But me, you know, finding someone who likes mechanical industrial stuff and thinks it's cool. They're out there, but they're really hard to find.
Definitely.
I'll get it done though. That's it.
Ash, can you chat? Ash she might be
Yes.
busy. Oh, what are you working on?
I'm sorting siglas. But I was just right now in the call, I was looking for apartments on Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Because that's where my supplier is, and I was like, it's taking me like 2 weeks. Maybe if I move there, I can get all my stuff faster.
I love it. That's hilarious.
But it's expensive. Like the area, I was looking at. Well, for me, it's expensive.
Kentucky is not expensive.
But the Cincinnati,
Okay.
like near there, everything is really like it's not cheap for one person.
Man, I can't imagine if my supplier was like in my neighborhood. That would be
I
crazy.
need to move. I'm thinking a lot because I really don't want to move. And it's
Yeah.
not like I cannot work from PR, but it's really hard. Like the hustle is almost triple. And while I was there this past 2 months, everything was so easy. Like I still have the problem that it take long to ship my items, but they will get there. And here in PR, it's like, I don't know, it's a hustle.
Shani, what was your comment on SEO?
So I had heard that putting those page breaks in there when you're putting the description in kind of throws Google. And so lately I've just been putting it as one long line. I don't know. I was just doing some research on it. So
I would just put your title or the best sentence first. Because they're not gonna send the whole description. They said it throws them off for a Poshmark listing.
yes, on the Posh Fest thing.
Yeah, that makes sense to me because Poshmark listings, the entire thing is searchable. So it makes sense to me that they would do. I don't think eBay has the same limitation because eBay's Google, when Google works with eBay, they mainly just send the item specifics. That's why they're being so hardcore about adding those. So the description is less and less important.
So would you put the page breaks in or not? Like say for
Yeah,
instance,
I would.
You would?
Because it's hard to read.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, the customer is going to find your listing if you have the right item specifics. I'm never going to read a paragraph again. Hopefully, I want some four bullet points on why I should buy it, and that's it.
Is it a general?
Go ahead, Ed.
Is it generally agreed that bullet points are the way to go?
I mean, it's easier to read, for sure. Maybe the teachers know, Clay or Brian.
Yeah, that's like under media graphics and we have to teach, and that's the general consensus is it is easier to read, and like even graphic organizers and all these teaching tools are designed to help comprehension. So it makes more sense to format it with the bullet points or some type of format. So what about maybe taking your title and pasting that as the first line of your description on Poshmark, and then like I use it has brand, size, color, where it's a template, and then directly underneath that, hopefully that catches their eye.
Yeah.
The VAs put the bullet in the listing. They put the little bullet points. I don't know. This is just something I heard.
That's why the first, like Brian said, the first sentence being the title
Mhm.
is great. And also, it doesn't like Google is smart. It can read it, like on YouTube, it can read what you say. It reads everything. It's smart. It's giving the customer the right information. Like they're not stupid. There's the smartest people work there, and they know what to put in your listing. That's
So you,
not something that. Okay, even for Poshmark, their title is only 50 characters. When you shop on here, let's try to find one. This is probably useful. Then we'll call it a day because this is really, really cool. Let's go to Google.
I would like to have your opinion or something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the supplies, like always, is taking too long to get here. And I don't want like to take down the listing. So I was thinking about I could just put 15 days handling and then also put the price higher.
Yeah. Block.
So,
Yeah. Make it
Hold on a
tidy up
second.
more.
Sorry, who's that? Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, Ash.
I was like, it was a good idea. Someone is like, yeah, do it.
Can you repeat the question?
So it's okay to put my handling time to 15 days and also putting my price a little higher just to keep the ball rolling but not like disappear.
Yeah, it is.
So
I would raise your price, and yeah, that way you still have it on there.
yeah, I keep like having small sales, but you know.
So I wanted to explain what Google does. So I'm trying to find a Poshmark listing. So here, right, is Yves Saint Laurent top, this YSL shirt. I think they've truncated the title. So even though, let's look at the actual title. See how long the title is? They've pulled out what they think it is. This is not the title. So Google's magic system has pulled out the size, the closet, the name of it, but let's look at her actual title. See, look, Google does their own thing. They figure out what it is. So that, yeah. But actually, does anybody else have any questions? We got a lot to think about as far as pricing, adjusting. But
Are we doing notes for this?
Normally, yes.
Where
I've been
do they
lazy
go?
they go in that document that I put earlier, which is here. I'll put it here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, this is where the notes are.
Oh man, thank
and
you.
that list also has the recordings of these. If you guys want to go back and read them.
Is anybody having good luck with Otter?
Otter is a voice to text tool for people who are looking for a way to do that. I like it.
I suggested a couple weeks ago. I just wondered if anybody's really given it a go besides. I think Amber likes it. Anybody else?
It understands her southern accent.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
which
wondered.
I love. Somebody had asked about GSP and packages being lost, and then Jamie is in the call. I think Jamie sells lost GSP packages, and it just made me think of him.
Hey, I'm here. Yeah.
Jamie, what are you doing to improve your store?
Oh, a couple of things. The internet we got here. I've just moved into a new unit, and we were kind of accidentally stealing the internet from next door, and they found out and unplugged us. So we need a new internet, and then I want to get the photographs improved. I noticed there was someone, I can't remember who he's called, the guy who sold his catering business. I like in the background his photo setup. I feel I might need to come up with an idea like that where it's built in almost to the racking. Oh, you're mute, Chris.
Yeah, I like building it into the racking.
It seems like it takes up less space, and because the lighting, he has the same lighting, but we've got, I don't know what the word is, but they're big. They're taking up a lot of floor space and things. His setup seemed good, so I think that might help.
And then you can stack things above it.
Exactly, above and below.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of it. All the shipping supplies are above it, and then below it, I have all the cleaning supplies. So that's the whole workshop in one station.
I guess the only problem is what happens if you have an oversized item, or do you just tend to not purchase?
So I have the photo built into the desk, and then I also have a 7-foot box that's next to it for oversized items.
Okay.
So any size that's less than 6 by 6 feet. But as Shani was saying earlier, it's like if you're, I do sell random items. Okay, Shani, I do think it's fun to sell something that's over $100 profit. Less than $100 profit is not fun. It's not cake. It's more like, carrot with ranch dressing. It's okay, but it's not as good as like a real dessert. Sorry, Jamie. But I like that setup.
Yeah, I'm going to work on that. Ours, well, I'll show you. Ours is, I don't even know how to do this. Oh, here we go.
We can see it. Oh.
A mess. I had 2 of these, but they just take up so much space. And then obviously you've got things like a mannequin. Well, you've got to switch over the desk to the mannequin. You've got
that's right.
Jewelry. It's not the best, and it just takes up a lot of space. I'd rather try and build it in a rack of some kind.
Yeah, that's because the bottom rack is actually a shelf in mine.
Okay.
And then it's all, I mean, if I use the entire shelving rack, it's 7 feet wide. If I decided to build it all into that, I could do it that way.
Yeah. How wide did you say it is?
7 feet wide, the shelf.
Okay. I might have to have a look and see if I might need bigger shelving, maybe longer, wider shelving.
And then you can store all the way to the ceiling, which saves you tons of space.
Yeah.
Andrew, your kid looks just like you. If this is your kid. But yep. Jeannie, do you want to chat? What are you working on today?
I've got this thing today. I was thinking about what we've been talking about earlier, and I've got all the, the bulk purchases I do. I'm thinking about doing a small Facebook group for just my little community. We have so many resellers out here, and I know a lot of them do garage sales and stuff. So I think I'm going to try to do a small resale Facebook group and maybe sell some of my bulk items, some of the stuff I get that are still a good profit. I just don't personally want to list.
Great idea.
So I think I'm going to work on that today, along with, the normal listing and stuff. Because we had talked earlier about finding somebody for like flea markets. I had that one guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's still no flea markets out here, because of the virus. So I don't want to keep holding on to that stuff. And I don't want to just give it away because it's good stuff.
Yeah. I love the idea of a Facebook group. I wonder if Andrew's doing that. Andrew, how are you finding your resellers that buy stuff from you?
Facebook.
Facebook. There we go.
Okay.
Facebook Marketplace. So, but I've even sold wholesale ads on like Macari. So
yeah, that's a good place too.
Are all of the people that buy from you, Andrew, near you? Like they come and get it from you, or do you ship?
Ideally, I'd want them to be near me, but I'd ship it. It's not that big of a deal to ship the stuff.
Okay.
It's better for the reseller though if they can pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'd rather do a cash transaction because I don't want like them to say, oh, like go through PayPal and just to me it's just easy. As long as they come bring cash, it's the easiest for me. Like so.
Andrew, your juju is a lot better now that you're selling less on eBay.
It is.
You seem a lot less frazzled.
Yeah.
Also, this is another thing to recognize, and then we'll leave on this note. When you do start doing some wholesale, you want the people who buy wholesale from you to survive, right? Because you want them to reorder. So like ideally it's a local customer because then they can actually make enough profit to come reorder again. So that's always the best. A local person that's okay. You want a local volume seller. That's the bottom line. Some person that's like, oh, turn $10 into 13. Andrew, sign me up. I'll buy everything. That's like the one person you need that's local and works a block from you. All right. Everyone have an awesome day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.